Welcome back to Tropico 5 Sandbox, guys. And at the end of the last episode, we moved from the colonial era into the World Wars era. And in this episode, I want to focus on some hard numbers because the change from colonial to World Wars from an economic perspective is a quantum leap. You've got to take a completely different approach to your economy. And I've put together some nice sexy graphs to show you exactly what I mean. So let's take a look. Okay, so this graph is showing us the relative profitability per worker for each of our money-making options in the colonial era. Now, I will just point out that cotton is slightly inflated by about 20% because it's using the price changes between the colonial era and the World Wars era, and I'm actually using the World War price here. But for the sake of this, it's okay. Now, this is relative. So what I've done, I've taken the annual profit for gold mine for a single worker, and then these are all relative to that price. Okay, so you can see the mines and the ranches are the most profitable, and then we go down to the cotton and cocoa, and it just gets worse down to corn. But even corn, relative to gold mine, is still, it's producing about a fifth of what a gold mine produces. So a gold mine's, 5 times more profitable than corn. Okay, now let's take a look at how this graph looks when you add in the World War money-making options. Okay, so I've added the World War era money makers in red so that you can see them clearly, and this time it's relative to the profitability of a jewelry workshop worker. And I think you can see just how dramatic the increase in profitability is when you move into the World War era and start using the World War's industry. Now, when you first move into the World War era, you only have 3 options, which are the cigar factory, the textile mill, and the rum distillery. You'll need to do some research in order to get steel mill, and even more research to get up to the jewelry worker. The jewelry workshop. So it's kind of important to look at this just at the rum and textile mill initially. Now, the cigar factory is really not a good investment, to be honest. The tobacco that you're going to need to grow doesn't have a very good upgrade because the upgrade actually degrades the ground over time. So tobacco plantations get worse over time. So that's really not a good option. And when you combine that with the lack of profitability of the cigar factory, it's not a good option. What you should be looking at is textile mills and rum distilleries. Cotton is the most profitable of the plantations when you move into the World Wars era. When you combine that with the textile mill, this becomes a really good option. The rum distillery is more profitable, but the sugar plantation isn't. Okay, so they kind of balance out. So it's pretty much your own choice which you go for. Personally, I think on balance, the rum distillery is probably the better of the two. But it kind of depends on the terrain you've got. I mean, if you can grow, if you've got lots of places where you can grow sugar, but not many good places to grow cotton, then what the hell? Go for rum distilleries. Pretty clear. But as soon as possible, you want to get the research done and start moving into steel, because look at the difference. It's what, like 50% more profitable than a rum distillery. And when you can get into jewelry, wow. I mean, it's twice as profitable as the rum. Now, the one additional factor that we have to take into consideration is education, because all of the colonial era money-making options all use illiterate workers. The cigar factory, textile mill, rum distillery, and steel mill all use high school educated workers, and the jewelry workshop uses college graduates. So getting our education going and getting getting it up and running fast is going to be really important to allow us to switch over to these new technologies, these new industries. We can get a little bit of a boost, and we'll take a look at foreign workers and see what we can do to give us a boost into this new economy. Now, one last thing I'll mention very quickly, just take a look at the difference between corn and the World War era industries. I mean, corn is 5% of the profitability of a jewelry workshop worker. So a worker working on a plantation producing corn is only producing 5% of what he could produce in terms of profitability. Utilizing your workforce efficiently and getting them into the industries and out of the plantations is really important, and that means we've got to start looking at importing. But I'll talk more about importing as we go along. Let's get back to the Tropico building. Okay, so we've got a lot to do. We're going to start off by taking a look at our population. So let's go up here to people. Okay, now we've currently got 94 open jobs. Now, wow, that's jumped up. Remember, we were keeping it at a level of sort of 30 to 40. The reason that's jumped up was at the end of the colonial era, we threw in a lot of buildings like the churches and the groceries and Catholic missions, groceries and newspapers and things like that. So we've got a lot of jobs which are not being filled at the moment. So we need to address that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all of the low value money making options. So things like coal mines. Now, if you checked out those graphs, coal mine was like the fourth worst of the money makers. Bauxite, iron, gold, all very good, but I think we've got a coal mine over here. We don't need coal at the moment, so right now I'm actually gonna. I think. You know what? I'm just going to set the budget down to. Or I'm going to try. It's not letting me change the budget. Why not? Probably because I've got it on pause. Maybe. Yeah, that's why. Okay, so we'll let this run now because I do want to build up a little bit of cash because I want to start putting in some schools and colleges. And see, we're starting to get tasks now. That's the only thing while I'm rattling on. Okay, what else can we get rid of? Like logging camps, for example. We can get rid of those. I mean, that's going to generate some workers who can then go and work in more profitable industries. So let's get rid of our loggers. And once we shuffle that down, these guys should start going to work at other places. You know what? To be honest, I'm just going to get rid of the logging because we're just not going to be doing that. So let's get rid of that one, and we've got a couple more over here, haven't we? Get rid of that one and that one. Did I have any more? Right, now this is a banana plantation. I'm going to keep the banana plantations, even though they're not great. And same with the corn. At the moment, just for the food variety, because I want to keep the happiness up now. That's kind of important. And we'll talk about. We're up to 50,000, so I'm going to pause this again because I'm blabbering on, and it's amazing how the time goes when you're doing this. So let's see, how many workers have we saved now? So let's go to people, open jobs, 84. I guess I could wait for the next ship to come in and see how many people come in. Now let's take a look at how many unemployed people we've got, and see, we've got illiterate grade school. We need high school people, right? And at the moment we've only got one unemployed high school person. So we really need to get the schools in, and that's like top priority. So let's go over to research and education, high schools. Right, I'm going to pop in a couple of high schools, and I'm going to put one in Yeah, where am I going to put it? Now, these things don't need to be aligned to a road. So, you know, I think I'm going to put it round this way. Have the playground down here. Yeah, sounds like a good plan. Right, and I'm going to hold down the old shift key, and I'm going to plop one there, and I'm going to put one over here as well. We've got another big lot of housing over here, so I'm thinking maybe, yeah, maybe spin it round, and I'll put it this side. Yeah, yeah, I like that idea. Right, so that's 2 high schools. I'm not too worried about college graduates right at this second, but we will put a college in very, very soon. Now, do we have any more mines that I want to get rid of? See, there's another coal mine. You know what? I'm actually going to demolish these, right? If I'm desperate for coal, I'll actually rebuild them because they are so incredibly cheap. It's kind of not worth worrying about. And was this a coal mine? No, it's a bauxite. And I didn't build this one. I don't even know what that is, because it's undiscovered currently. So, well, but we'll discover the whole map fairly soon when we research Compass, which won't take us too long. Especially now that we've got the high schools in, we'll put a college in as well. You know what? I'm going to put a college in now because it'll give us such a big research boost that it's really worth putting in. And I guess I'm going to put it in. You know, I'm going to put it in at the posh end of town, I think. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put it in sort of up here, so it's not too far for the kids over here to travel. Yeah, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. Sort of on the road down to the gold mine. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Right, let's pop that in there. Cool, excellent. Is there anything else that I want to do before I take this off pause? And I think the answer is yes. Right, like straight away, I want to queue up the research. Now, I think we want to pay a little bit more attention this time. When we were doing the colonial stuff, it was just a case of, slap them in because it didn't really make too much difference. But yeah, I think we're going to want to take a look at this. I'm going to prioritize the power plant and the embassy and then steel mill, right? Then I'll do Constitution because I want to get the steel mill up and running like as soon as possible. We will then throw in the army base because we really need to get some military because we don't have any military at all on the island. So we are now in a situation where we can have rebels. So having some army around is going to be a great thing. Then I'm going to ignore table manners. I'm going to jump straight to dry dock because that'll expose the map. Then I'm going to take socialism because by the time we get to that, I think our economy is going to be flying, and we can put in some of the nice social edicts, which will increase our happiness. Okay, then we'll go back. We'll do table manners. Then we'll do military skills. Cool. So there you go. That's our research. What else do we want to get put in place? Let's let this run. I'd love another ship to come in and bring in some more workers because I've got a sneaking suspicion that it's going to bring in quite a few. I'm thinking probably like maybe 30 workers, as many as that. Wow, that we're really shipping out some good amounts of cash at the moment. I mean, we've just spent a lot on 2 high schools and a college, and we're already back up over 20,000. So that's really nice. But we need to get some of these new economies rocking and rolling. So how are we doing? 20,000. That's good enough. That's good enough for now. Right. What are we going to get going? We want to get either distilleries or textiles. Okay. And I know that on this map, right now, with the area that's exposed, we're better off with sugar than we are with tobacco. That we are with textiles. So I think we are going to go for rum distilleries. Now, we do have a little bit of cotton down here, but yeah, I think we're going to go with the rum. Now, one other thing that we really need to talk about is the Teamsters, because there's quite a discussion in the comments on the last couple of videos about the Teamsters and the best place to put them and the most efficient way to use them. We'll get into a discussion about that a bit later, because I want to get these things rocking and rolling first, and then we'll deal with the Teamsters issue. I'm really tempted to redo this road layout down here, because it's a little bit of a mess actually, and the problem is actually caused because this Teamster, instead of being facing this way, is facing this way, and you can see that it's made a road connection here, which is why I couldn't turn that round the other way. There should be like 4 in a row. So I'm really tempted to just demolish these and replace it and redo the roads, because it'll just be so much neater. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to start getting into the aesthetics of this. So let's just crank that up so we can get rid of these roads, and hope that by doing this it's not going to screw up our Teamsters, because Teamsters can get a bit buggy. Right, I need to demolish this guy and this guy. Now, are they demolished by construction workers? Because I'm just wondering whether the construction workers can get down here. No. Doesn't seem to be the case. Right, now we should be able to put in... come on. Go away. Thank you. Right, Teamster's office. Right, one there. Boom. And then flip it around. And there we go. See, that's what I wanted it to look like the first time around. Right, now we can run a road, hopefully, like right across here. Really nice and neat and tidy. Excellent. Won't go any further? No, won't. Okay, cool. And then link that up down there. Sweet. Because what I want to do is put in like... a row of distilleries down here, so let's do that now. Where's our distilleries, rum distilleries? As per usual, not enough cash, because I just put these in. Come on guys, where's the ship?
I remember my own high school years.
It's Lulu!
Acne-covered menace back then. The head cheerleader once stole my jock boyfriend Raoul, so I made her eat her own pom-poms. Then I said to Raoul, "You can't dump me, I'll dump you," and promptly pushed him in a cesspit. Luckily, I've changed for the better since then.
Okay, thank you Lulu. She's always entertaining, except when she's being really, really blooming annoying. Okay, so we've got a couple of ships rolling in, and the cash is starting to roll in again. Oh, and we're paying off some of our sovereign debt. I want this to get over 20,000, to be honest. But yeah, that's enough. Let's get, because as soon as we start putting these in, you saw the difference that it's going to make. It's absolutely huge. So that won't go that way round. That's annoying. In fact, that won't seem to fit in anywhere there. Oh, come on, you've got to go in somewhere, surely. Yeah, this is all going to be unusable. That's a real pain. Okay, you know what we'll do? Then in that case, we'll put a row up here, which is as close as we can get. And yeah, what we'll do, we'll put them, I think, this way round. We can probably get a block of like 4 distilleries in there. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we'll put one in there for now, and we'll hook it up with a road, which we can just about afford to do. Let's run this road all the way down there. Right, so we're going to put in like 4 distilleries down here. Now, what that means, just talking briefly about the Teamsters, What people were saying was, isn't it better to put the Teamsters near to where people live? Because they go from their houses to the Teamsters office, and then they're going to go back to collect, from the plantations and whatever, and then go to the docks. So they're going to go like all the way down to come all the way back again. Well, yeah, except that's true in the colonial era, but as we move into the World War eras and beyond, it's much more dependent on where your industry is and how much you're importing. Because if you're starting to import your raw materials and you've got your industry close to your docks, you actually want your Teamsters down by the dock area. Okay, that's where they're going to be going backwards and forwards. So the journey from home becomes a lot less significant. Cool, right. We've just got to wait for these things to start building now. Now, how are our schools doing? Right, we've got our schools built. Okay, now this is where we need to bring in some foreign workers to kind of jumpstart our economy. So what I'm going to do is, if I get some, oh look, 23 citizens coming in. What does that do to our unemployed? We're 73. Those should start filling some of these jobs. Okay, cool. So we should be down to sort of around 50, which is a lot better. Okay, right, we can start bringing in some foreign workers. Now, high school foreign workers are only 500, so they're not horrendously expensive at this point. So, okay, we've already got those. As soon as this gets built, which I'm hoping isn't going to take very long, let's crank this up to get it built. Come on, guys. Go, 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 go. Build, build, build. Oh, a freighter, another 24,000. Excellent. And another couple of citizens. Those were those two that I just hired. Right. Let's pause this a second. And let's crank that up to max. Right. I'm going to recruit a whole bunch of these guys. Now, this goes up fairly steeply. And I don't want to go like too high. But I'm going to bring in 6. How many unemployed? High school. We don't have any. Yeah, I'm going to max it out. I think. Which I could just afford to do. Okay, so that means that this should get up to maximum profitability like pretty much instantly. And that is like just that, having that one rum distillery is going to make a pretty instant impact on our economy. And again, we can start taking people out of the plantations and getting them to start working in the factories. Once, of course, we've got them educated. Now we can start to take out some of these, I think. Now what have we got? We've got like, this is sugar, which we want. This is cotton, which we want. So what we're going to start getting rid of, these are all, that's sugar, that's corn. Yeah, we're going to start getting rid of these cocoa plantations down here, I think. So let's get rid of that one, because you can see they're only half full of workers, which means that their profitability is actually very poor. Right, so we'll get rid of those. We can leave those farms in for now. Our 8 foreign workers have arrived. Cool. They'll head straight up to the rum distillery. Right, hopefully our Teamsters will be working hard and they'll get some sugar in there pretty quickly. Come on, guys. Come on, ship that sugar. As you can see, it's costing us, about 420 a month? Yeah, well, there's the budget up there, 420 a month. It's going to be interesting to say, okay, right, we've had the rum, the sugar delivered, and instantly it starts outputting the rum. And that'll get shipped down to the docks. Expected revenue. Now, I want to see the rum get shipped out to the docks. Now, where's it going to be shipped to? One of these two. And as soon as it does, I think you'll see it like topping the revenue, like pretty much instantly. Because the value of it compared to all the other things that we're producing, as you saw on those graphs, is just huge. I mean, it's doubled the best thing that we've got, which is gold.
Electricity. It's like organized lightning. There's no better way to put it. And
Excellent, we've got electricity. Shut up, Penultimo. Oh, we got another 24 people have arrived, which is pretty darn good. Let's have a look at our job situation. Having got rid of those 3 plantations, that freed up 24. Another 24 arriving. We should actually be like, yeah, we're going to be almost level, which is awesome, and that's happened pretty quickly. Right, come on, where's our rum? I want to see rum getting produced. Here we go, here's our rum. Right, there's that first 750 that we produced. Right, and we've still got lots of sugar that we're outputting, so we've got lots of excess sugar. And we want to start turning that into rum rather than selling the sugar. Right, look, the cash is flooding in now. So we are now going to be able to start banging in these extra rum distilleries. So let's put a second one in there. But this time we're going to wait. We're not going to bring in foreign workers, and we're going to wait for our people to get educated. And we'll carry on putting the rest of these in. And I think at that point, when we've got like maybe 4 distilleries over here, I will probably put some in over here. I might do like 2 rum, 2 textiles, something like that. At that point, our economy will be booming, and then we'll get to work on some of the infrastructure that we need to work on to boost our happiness and get our military in place to avoid any issues with the rebels. But you know what? That's next time. I will see you then. Peace out.